one of my organization when I was working. So what happened? We used to do small consulting assignment for companies as academic institute, and my director went and committed something in a board where he is a board member in one of the government organization, stating that, look, we could solve this problem for you. It was a recruitment problem. He committed and came. And then after committing there and came here, he was trying to check with people who can do this, right? And somehow he didn't find people to do that. And he asked me, can you do this project? And unfortunately, I am a Fin guy, and this project is absolutely into HR area. So those days in the early in career, and you don't want it to be judged by him as someone who is not capable, and you also you also wanted to impress your senior leadership. I said yes, I'll try. I said. Then I went and verified, and I found myself that I have no ability to do this, right? Then I went to a senior guy in the organization, spoke to him, how do I manage this now? Somehow I said yes to him. And he said, there is one idea. Anyway, you have not given a commercial proposal for this project. So you quote something extremely high, they themselves will say no for this. So we estimated cost and everything, and I gave a price of 7x, right? That is a price I quoted, thinking that this guy should never say yes to this. And for a surprise, next day I got a yes from them.
Even 7x.
I think they all right off the track.
And we were, right? One side I was shocked. The other side I was tempted to do this, because generally what happens, the surplus gets shared with the people who do a consulting, right? So what I did, I started thinking through, how do I manage this? Can I outsource this work to someone and all that? And it was very tough for me, but I executed that. It took about 2 years to execute. We made a lot of money, and we completed with a very good appreciation from the client. And somehow we closed it in a good note, and that followed by multiple projects from a same client on the same field, right? So we were very happy about that, right? This instant came to mind when I was looking at this topic, right? So what happens when you have to say a no, right? Whether it is a soft no or a blunt no, we are very comfortable when we say to somebody junior in the organization or someone who reports to us, but we find it very difficult to say to the higher ups, right? So this is something where someone at a very early stage in the career and somebody looking out for getting appraisal score from your seniors, they find it very difficult to navigate with a clear no to the seniors. So in your early career or somewhere now, how did you navigate this? If you could explain that, this will be more helpful to young generation.
I think it's not just an early career thing. I think for me personally, I think it happens every day, right? Because it doesn't matter how high up you go, there's always someone above you that you need to say no to sometimes. So I think you may be getting better at it, but I think those scenarios happen throughout, whether early career or not. I think personally for me, I don't have too many good examples to share in early career, because we always kept saying yes and started getting into trouble. It's only as for me, as I got more secure and assured about myself and my career and my positioning, that's when I started feeling more confident to say, or push back, right? In the corporate world, we use the word pushback, saying, or challenge. So if you get, someone tells you to do something from high up, you push back and you challenge. And mostly what works is not the answer no. Mostly for me, what works is giving the alternate proposal, right? To say, hey, I know this is what you're asking me to do, but I think the alternate proposal is this. So that's what I feel works the best. And that doesn't matter whether early.
Don't you think that that might cut down your opportunity in future? Because he might make a judgment that it's most probably going to be a no from you, and he will pick up someone who is.
But if you give an alternate proposal, that's what helps. Now, you're right, it could still cut down. And then in early careers, you're less secure about yourself and you're worried about that. But the only way to get over it is you need to build confidence, right? And you get more assurance and stuff. One is consequence management they talked about. But the second, I always felt you soften the blow to them and to you if you say, here's an alternate way of doing it. I can't do what you're asking me, but I can do this. And then it becomes more of a negotiation.
I think learning wise, I think if you split, just building on what you said, I think in early career, if you are saying more yes, I mean, it's not a direct yes or no at an early career. If somebody gives you something, you might as well grab it and deliver to it, and you have to be competent, I feel. That's where the learning will come. Mid-career is based on what you said, I guess, because people have started developing faith on you, and you can do that. And while I answered no earlier, where we are, I tend to be more of an yes person, because even at our levels, when we get an opportunity, when we are not clear, it is usually some kind of transformation initiative, and we probably need to kind of go with that. So basically, maybe you can classify that into three.
We see a lot of no's from the young people now. Actually, when we give this, that's so, and it's also because probably they are much
Clear about what they want.
what they want exactly. That's
Exactly.
very
They are
clear.
so clear.
Yeah.
Entitlement that we
We didn't have it. That's so. I think that's. I agree. Probably we have never said no in our early career.
So rather, we should be discussing how to say yes.
From my perspective, there's another thing that I'll add to this discourse. Sometimes, instead of saying no, it's better to sandbox the whole thing. If suppose the problem is very critical and the solution is something which benefits the business in a very big way, then instead of saying no, we have seen instances where if we experiment it in a very small, controlled way, and if take learnings from those experiences in a manner that's sandboxed, then we can contain if suppose there are risks which comes in, and take the learning, improve it, and then move towards yes. We did it. I was part of it in one of my professional engagements. So there is a way every multinational organizations, big organization, have a policy how we engage with clients. And generally the expectation is that we engage with clients in a business environment for business purpose, for discussing factors of business or headings of business. But business also needs personal interaction, networking, and that's also an accepted fact. However, the policies and the risk assessments that gets included in such instances generally do not conform to the business requirements or the business requests, and that is where I was finding myself to be more frequently, because there were frequent requests from business side to engage with clients in networking environment, in an environment which is not business oriented. Over, say for example, sports. My business was consistently coming and telling me, look, my clients have a great culture of playing cricket. For example, we know in India there are public sector organizations, and there are even private sector organizations, including Tatas and all, which have a great culture of playing, and they attach a lot of intensity to play, right? And if suppose my business said that if we can meet and we can engage with them in the environment of playing cricket, then it would be a great opportunity to discuss with them one-on-one, invite some other senior folks, because they are also passionate about it. Now, the question therefore was, what is it that we do and where the risk is coming from? So we thought that let's do something which is limited with 1 or 2 or 3 clients, and let's see where it goes. And then we started, and within a couple of years of doing it, we reached to a stage where we were doing tournaments. We created a brand out of it. We created a brand called CEO Challenge out of it, which made us engage with the owner of the CEO Lounge as well. Yeah, so yes, exactly, Deepak Yadav as well. Yeah.
In just pivoting on, if we are on the other side, my view when I'm getting a yes or no from the businesses or the people I work with is, if somebody is saying yes, either I'm expecting him or her to know the topic well, or to your point, solve for it. And yes need not mean yes to the scope we've given, but if somebody can solve for it, it's a big value add. And on the other side, beyond no, I think I'm more comfortable with I don't know as an answer with a lot of people rather than saying no. That's more clear for me than saying no. No is in between. I don't know. No is because you don't know or you're not involved or you.
So at times you can also say, I'll try, but I'm not sure of the outcome.
I'll try. It's a little difficult, but anyway, it's a. I'm not comfortable with I'll try, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So one more example, just to add to what you're saying, what I've seen, buying time is also a way of, saying no. So I have an example. This is the early career, mid-career, one of my bosses. So we knew that we can't say no. So he was trying to tell me that, we don't go and say no, but I also don't think we should do it. So we need to buy time. So I said, yeah, but how do you do that? Because, like this, I want to solve for it, I want to do it. So So he gave me this really brilliant line. So he said, see, you have to somehow show them you're very competent, but also very useless. So I was like, how do you do that? It's like, no, that is buying time. So one of my bosses actually told me that's also an art. So, just buying time, because it was important. We wanted to do it, but at that time we couldn't. So, so I was like, that's interesting. Be competent, but also be useless. I don't know how to do that.
The other thing which I was talking, and I'm just giving the example, sometimes, organization also wanted to test the people. Many times if you see the performance metrics, they put the people into different quadrant. There's a performance versus potential. And they put into the high spot, mid spot, and we all have done during our leadership also that we want to test the people, whether they have a potential to take the larger role or not. And what we do, we will bombard with people with lots of responsibilities, and we'll call them in the management meeting and ask them, this is the challenge which we have been facing. Do you think that you are what to take this challenge? Even though his plate is full of responsibilities, but the guy, if he's passionate and he has that kind of, you can say, inertia to do something, he will never say no. He'll say, I'll try my best. He said, okay, what do you expect from me? What is your short-term or long-term goals? They clearly define. And during that period, company also understand that we are expecting too much from this guy, but we know this guy has a high potential. If he want to succeed and tomorrow he become a future leader, let him give this responsibility. Let him understand that as long as if he succeed, well, and even though if he's not succeed, out of 10 projects, if his success ratio is there 7 to 8 success assignments, then he is good to take that responsibility. And that time, you are bound to take that responsibility, which we have seen in our young ages when we started our career, and they have asked. And many times your colleague will ask you, what the hell are you doing? Why are you taking more responsibilities? You need to balance your life. But it's okay, it's part and parcel.
Kids are more clear nowadays, and I think it helps because India, whether it is campuses, or the corporates, still don't have that distinction, because whether it's an APAC culture, whether you go to Singapore, Japan, or Europe or US, they're a lot more clearer with a yes or no understanding.